Thank you, Professor Jenny, for the introduction. And let me just share my screen. So can everybody see the screen? Can everyone see the screen clearly and hear me clearly?
Hi, Emil, you need to swap the screen.
Okay.
We see, but yes, now it's the right screen. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much. And thank you for, of course, thanks again for Catholic University of Portugal, Macau Foundation, and of course, the Macau Scientific and Cultural Center for sponsoring this event and giving us this opportunity, and me specifically, to present. So we have a lot of material to cover. So let's get rolling. Everyone can hear me, correct? Yes. So I take the silence as yes. So today the topic, we're going to talk about 5 major points, and I will start with Portugal and Macau China collaboration. Okay, and this fits under the category of the business opportunities and innovation in the Greater Bay Area. So Macau, one of the major things that actually Macau stands for and needs to be really emphasized is the fact that it is known as the Forum for Economic and Trade Cooperation between China and Portuguese-speaking countries. Now, I'm not sure if many of you hear this all the time, but actually it started back in 2003, and this was a forum, permanent secretary, which was again established in 2004 in Macau for the sole purpose of serving Portuguese-speaking countries. Okay, so again, this is a creation of a new institution in Macau to serve a specific function. Now, these functions include, of course, financial support for cooperation, secretarial base, and also specifically a platform for the development of Chinese and Portuguese bilingual talent in terms of training, and of course, in terms of exchange, cultural exchange, and at the same time, the idea of hosting biannual ministerial exchanges in Macau between the Portuguese-speaking countries and China. And of course, just to remind you, the next ministerial meeting, which is the 6th ministerial meeting, will happen next year in 2024 in Macau. Now, why is this so significant? Okay, this is very significant because of cultural heritage and linkage, but also if we look back in 2011, the idea of the Portuguese-speaking platform, which is the role played by Macau, was actually written into the national plan in the 12th five-year plan in 2011. That immediately elevated this institution, which was created in 2003, and it was elevated into the national plan, which means this is no longer a role which is played by Macau specifically in its special administrative region, but also a role for the whole of China. Okay, it's a national designation, and we can see there is a big impact on this, right? Because as a platform serving the Portuguese-speaking countries, it is a very important role. And as we can see in the next slide, this is the data for export and import through Macau going to Portuguese-speaking countries since 2002, 2003. As you can see a really significant trend starting from 2003 and of course up to 2017. So this is the data that I have for 2017. However, the latest data that we see, right, which is up to July 2023, you really see the importance of the role of Macau and also the importance of trade between Portuguese-speaking countries and China. As of July 2023, we witnessed 119 billion US dollars trade between all the Portuguese-speaking countries and China, and of which 5 billion was accounted for Portugal. So this is actually a very, very significant number when you're talking about, this historical kind of impact. So this kind of outlines the role of Macau and how its significance and why its importance has been elevated from a regional, from a special administrative region to a national policy level center. Okay. Now, the second point that I'm going to talk about now is the origins of the Greater Bay. So how come we're talking about Macau and then suddenly we jump to the Greater Bay? What is the link? Well, when we talk about many people refer to this Greater Bay as the China Greater Bay, but officially it's known as the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area. Okay, it consists of actually it's located in Southeast China, right, in this area, and it consists of 9 cities and 2 special administrative regions. Now, the two special administrative region is of course Hong Kong, Macau, and the rest are Shenzhen, Dongguan, Huizhou, Guangzhou, Chongqing, Foshan, Zhongshan, Jiangmen, and Zhuhai. So this is what is known to be the Greater Bay, and it's 9 + 2. So the origins of the Greater Bay Area can be traced back to actually not, I mean, we only hear of this Greater Bay recently, correct? But the interesting thing is this was actually outlined already back in 2008 by the National Development and Reform Commission. And their plan was to use this as a pilot region for economic reform, political and cultural social system reform, okay? So this was the former name kind of of the Greater Bay. Of course, the Pearl River Delta covers a bigger area, but again, the content that it covers is actually very, very similar to what we are seeing today in the development of the Greater Bay. A few points that I want to mention is the chapter 4, section 3 within this document, which was written back in 2008, already talks about the open regional innovation system. Now, you guys can look this up. I have this document, and we can share this later in our repository, those of you who are interested. And you can see that Hong Kong and Macau already clearly plays an important role, which is outlined in this plan already. So again, another long-term plan for this whole area. And we can see that this plan has culminated through the years, through the different development of the different regions. So this is the data collected in 2020, and the source was the former chief executive of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam's speech to the delegation, Hong Kong's delegation to Tokyo. But the most important point I want to point out here is the population as of 2023 is more than 80 million now in this area, okay? And that accounts for around 5% of the population of China. But if you look at the GDP, and also it actually takes up 12% of the GDP, which is 1.6 trillion in 2020. Okay, now this is a very significant driving engine, and it's a big, more than 10% of the GDP of China. So this is actually very relevant because Macau, through this huge engine is one of the what's known as one of the center cities of the Greater Bay Area. Of course, here are some more statistics. So for this is just to point out that Macau is now grown to 33 square kilometers, and basically it's there's even though it takes up a very small part of space, it's considered the 4 central cities. And the reason is very simple, and one of the reasons was that I pointed out earlier is that it serves a very important window to the Portuguese-speaking world, and this is and it has an international impact and very, very important linkage to both Europe and Africa, where Portuguese-speaking countries are located. Major socioeconomic background, you can get this from the website. The source was from the Greater Bay website, Hong Kong here, but just want to show that the Greater Bay also has been developing in such a way that it's a highly concentrated and populated area with people with high disposable income and education. And this is actually conducive for research, a very attractive metropolitan area, right, that spans around the whole Pearl River Delta. Another comparison many people would draw is actually how does this China or Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area compare to other areas? And as you can see, we are the Greater Bay Area that has the largest land area, okay, with 56,000 square kilometers, okay? However, we are actually still kind of lagging behind Tokyo Bay, right? So we have a lot of room to grow in terms of resources and also in terms of the population. We'll also want to highlight some of the specifically related to innovation is actually we see that a lot of top 500 enterprises are located within this area. Okay, and in terms of infrastructure in the Greater Bay Area, the top 10 ports in the world, we have 3 container ports. 3 container ports located within 1 hour within the Greater Bay, which means your transport time going to each of these areas is actually within 1 hour. And of course, in terms of land transport, you can see an extensive railway station, high-speed rail and local railway station that connects basically the 9 cities and the 2 special administrative regions. There are some new lines here which are not shown. This is actually in the Hengqin, Guangdong, Macau in-depth development zone, which we will talk about a bit later. Okay, so as you can see, within this very extensively concentrated with high mobility, high disposable income area, we would expect a very, very basically an economic powerhouse coming out of this Bay Area. And statistics shows that according to InvestCorp Insight November 2022 issue, if we were just to take the Greater Bay Area as a country, okay, if we took the GDP of the Greater Bay Area as a country, we would rank number 10 in 2021. Actually, I've just checked, and according to the Finance Secretary of Hong Kong, we actually in 2023 already surpassed Canada, and actually we're right behind Italy. So we're actually ranked number 9 if we were a country. Okay, so this is again very, very resource filled with people with personal disposable income and highly educated. So having said that, now this becomes the engine of China, all right, future development in terms of innovation, in terms of finance, in terms of service. And Macau is a core city inside that. So you can view Macau as a stepping stone or a window for the Portuguese-speaking countries into this enormous, gigantic, rapidly developing area, which is actually, if you look at it as a country, ranks at number 10 in the world, okay? And how has it achieved this rapid growth, okay? And we cannot not discuss the 5-year plans, which is a central government planned economic plan, which actually we should not refer it as an economic plan. We should refer to it as an economic and social plan, which encompass the whole of society, the development of multiple aspects, including innovation, including economic development. Okay, here I'm showing the 14th 5-year plan goals, which we are currently in. So we're currently within the middle of the 5-year plan, and we can see that I wanted to point out specifically those things relevant to innovation and open innovation. So you see that research and development spending, right, at least a 7% growth. So again, pushing for research and development and innovation, green development specifically in line with United Nations goals, and of course, promotion of the development of the Belt and Road Initiative, which Portugal is part of. Okay, so we have to look at the results and say, hey, you know, this massive development, this plan seems to be working. The development of the network, the infrastructure, and we see this clearly. I'm going to show you some of the pictures before and after cities within the last 20 years of development. So we can see Guangzhou, right? In the 70s, this is what it looked like. This is Guangzhou today. Okay. We see in Shenzhen, right? Shenyang Road. This is the same road, okay? In Shenzhen in 1980s, and this is what it looks like now. This is a 100-floor building in Shenyang, on Shenyang Road, okay? Tianhai, this is a new development area between Shenzhen and Hong Kong. So it was basically a fishing village in the 1980s, and now it's fully developed into a really powerful finance center. And of course, our very own Macau, 1970s, this was water and a road. This is the same road, but now it's become the strip, Cotai Strip in Macau. So as you can see, the origins of the Greater Bay was actually planned, and it was because of putting together different areas of development and different advantages and investments in different areas that has led to kind of the advancement of the Greater Bay, which leads to the next topic, which is the institutional-led open innovation. We can see that each of the 5-year plans, we see 11th, 12th, 13, 14, which is the one we're in now, has a very specific goal within itself. I have taken out some of course, trying to summarize the plans in a few words, but you can see that since the 12th 5-year plan, we have been focusing on scientific development and innovation, okay? And for those of you who are not familiar with what the 5-year plans are, they are a national strategic plan which is authorized by the central government, and it's a roadmap for basically the whole society, development of the whole society for the next 5 years. And it encompasses basically all aspects of development within China, okay? Now, a few points I want to point out, highlighted in red. So it's a strategic intention, and it is a government-led, okay, is a government work that guide the behavior of market. So this is kind of clearly shows that the institution here is very, very important in terms of guiding, right? And you will see that you will see that you will see that you will find out that this is very important because it gives you a very, very clear idea of the institution. I'm going to show you a few examples from the different plans right now. So from the 11th five-year plan, we are seeing the acceleration of change, economic growth, already telling society or the government officials to start changing to a new economy. Okay. Second, improve independent innovation ability. So back in the 11th plan, which is 2010, all right, they already have this intention. Okay, so I just want to demonstrate that these plans, right, within these plans, they actually highlight all the core areas, and I wanted to especially point out that on the 12th five-year plan, they talk about the indigenous research. Okay, indigenous research is basically the ability to do all the research within the context of China, right? But of course, having said that, that does not mean closed door research. It means more collaborative research, but having really core ideas or core innovations coming from internal sources, right? Internal sources to China, right? And again, the core ideas actually from the 10th and 12th five-year plan is basically of industry innovation and leapfrog development. Now, some of these areas I've highlighted and included in the PowerPoint, but I'm not going to speak too much about them. It's just to highlight some of the industries written inside the plan so that it's a signal to all of society that these are the areas that needs to be planned or the government needs to develop within the next 5 years, okay? And of course, on chapter 10 of the 12th five-year plan, we have the strategic emerging sectors, which again, you'll see high-tech area and expansion of the government startups and innovation startups. There you have it, really, really clear proof that, you know, a lot of the innovation, especially within China, is institutional led, right, by policies and institutions of the Chinese government. Now, I'm going to speed up a little bit because I know I only have 30 minutes. I have a lot to share, okay? So these are the industries, again, policies. These are the policies that they encourage preferential treatments for high tech, for investment, for research, and they do this multiple ways through taxation, through industry standards as well. And again, these are some of the industry. Hello? Sorry. So these are some of the industries that we are trying to highlight again. So you'll see Huawei 5G, gene research, right? This is already kind of linked or written into the plan. So moving back now to the Guangdong, Macau in-depth cooperation zone, which is Hengqin next door to Macau. Now, this is also another institution-led open innovation, but in terms of a government-wide innovation in terms of governance, okay? So the creation of the special in-depth cooperation zone is actually first in China, where the area is governed both by the provincial government and, so this was the governor, provincial governor, and the SAR chief executives. Now, what's so special about this place? Okay, so if you can see, this is Hengqin, the area right next to Macau. But what's so special about it is, as Professor Peter Hannenberg suggested earlier, there's a purpose. And the purpose of this area is to provide diversification and support for Macau in these specific areas. So these are the 4 specific areas outlined by Macau for its future development in Hengqin. Okay, so the big health industry, so traditional Chinese medicine, fintech, high-tech development, and development of culture and sports industry. So this is what Hengqin looks like at the moment from our campus. Okay, we look over and we see this island. But of course, big developments. So big developments and big health. This is the blueprint of the traditional Chinese medicine research facilities already built in Hengqin, waiting for researchers and development and collaboration in traditional Chinese medicine. We also have conventions and exhibition, which is a natural extension of Macau's already thriving scene. But of course, there are certain things that could not be done due to space limitations. Okay, so this will again give an extra boost for different things or different events, such as probably football games, large crowds like outdoor concerts. Okay, 4 is fintech. All right, so in 2018, actually, those of you who do not already know, Macau started a financial asset exchange which focuses on the issuance of bonds. And of course, what's so special about this company is actually already linked with the stock exchange of Luxembourg in terms of issuing bonds through Macau. And of course, currently Macau is very focused on what is known as green bonds. And through issuing through this company in Macau, you are able to double list or even triple list. You can list in both Hong Kong, Macau, and Luxembourg at the same time. So I see, and of course, last but not least is the high tech, okay, high tech sector. And this was actually, these photos were taken from a high tech show in Macau earlier this year. Now, I wanted to highlight some of the high tech sectors, which actually is outlined, specifically written in law, and that would be supported by the Hengqin and Macau government if it were to develop. And the list is 15 pages, outlines 185 different categories. Now, again, this is encouragement and also resources. Actually, these are policies towards these specific areas. So areas such as national laboratories and innovation centers to be located in Hengqin, of course, jointly developed by Macau and its partners, okay? Traditional Chinese research labs, green tech research labs, product design centers. So remember, the development of Hengqin is not just about opening up Hengqin for Macau, but it's for Macau in collaboration with its partners, right? And of course, specifically for the Greater Bay Area partners and its Portuguese-speaking partners. And of course, another very important highlight are the taxation for the residents who actually work in Hengqin. These are, they enjoy taxation benefits as if they were working in Macau. So what that means is you actually have to, you pay around 25% less tax if you were, you go through this path of working with Macau and then establish in Hengqin. Now, finally, the USJ Greater Bay Network, which basically reiterates the idea of our Vice Rector, Professor Alvaro Barbosa, talking about the idea of USJ reaching out and having this network to work with our various partners in Portuguese-speaking countries, especially in Portugal. And this is just a short kind of idea of what we have done so far. So within the last 11 months, we have actually established a big network. And this is not extensive. This is not the latest. Okay. So this is to show you that within the network, we have taken students, like former students from the MBA program, to areas within the Greater Bay Network to exchange, to visit various places. This was in Zhongshan when there was a innovation and entrepreneurship summit, and Portuguese students and staff participated. We also actually connected staff from the different business schools, visit in car factory in Guangdong, and also the creating connections in the forum. And of course, fostering collaboration between local entrepreneurs and also the Portuguese businessmen and students. But of course, last but not least, have fun, right? To create a fun, interesting, and culturally amicable and happy experience for our exchange students and staff. Other things that we have done so far. So currently we are moving faster and faster and trying to serve as the network for chambers of commerce. So here you see the French Chamber of Commerce. We also have 5 extensive partnership with incubators. This is 5 incubators within Guangdong, the capital of the province of Guangdong province. And these are some of the facilities that is available to our students and our partners for events and of course sharing and matching. We also have another center. This is located in Hengqin, which is our strategic partner. Another one in Foshan. Okay. Recently, we had an event with the Economic Development Bureau, giving first-hand policy information to our students as well. And the latest development was the MOU signing to create the Sino-Portuguese Industrial Incubation Center in Hengqin with SANI, which is the biggest private company in China. Okay. And actually, this just came in, so I'm going to show you. So this is the building that is located in Hengqin, and this is the area that we're looking at. Just finished, right? So in conclusion, in the words, of Professor Peter and also Professor Alvaro, it's collaboration. And for USJ, the institution, the government has taken the lead in establishing a platform in terms of policy, in terms of resources that we can use. USJ now is using its role as a university to create networks between both universities and different incubation centers to serve our partners, and specifically, of course, through our partners in Portugal. And that is the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, please you can add my WeChat or email me. Thank you very much.